Hey, founders, Kirk Michie here for the continuation of the funnel. Remember at the top, kind of the first 5 questions at the top of the funnel were all around curiosity about timing, valuation, what's your number, kind of how do you decide whether you're going to go. The second part of the funnel, of which this is the final piece before you actually go to market and start executing on the plan, where in this second piece, we've been talking about, okay, you're beyond curiosity, you've kind of decided to go now. How do you start looking at resources and thinking through the scaffolding of your process? This last piece is, what do business brokers or investment bankers charge? So this is a lot more uniform than you might expect it to be. It's not like moving companies where they're regulated at a certain price, but the market kind of regulates it. So think about it this way. In general, up to around 10 to 15 million, you can expect to pay 4 or 5%. That's 10 or 15 million for the sale of your business. Interestingly, smaller transactions, it's a bigger percentage, mostly because the skill set and opportunities available to business brokers or investment bankers only working on other deals are such that they're trying to get to kind of a minimum number. And some investment banks and even some business brokers who work on smaller deals have a minimum fee. Sometimes it's $250,000, sometimes it's $50,000, other times it's $1 million, $2 million. Kind of depends on the size of the investment bank. In the, call it 25-ish to 50 million or 20 to 50 million, expect to pay somewhere between 2.5% to 4%. These aren't always a flat fee. Sometimes they scale in the direction of, you pick a number with your investment banker and say, we're going to get 2.5% for the first 20 million and 3.5% above 20 million because you've targeted 20 million as your number. That's where the market is. You and the banker have discussed that, and incentivizing them to get more than that might mean that you give them a higher number. The other way to think about it is what's called the old Lehman model, where it starts out as high as 10% on the first $1 million and declines about 1% at a time with every million or $2 million. So there's the only thing that remained after kind of the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers was what's called the Lehman Formula or Modified Lehman Formula. Look it up in chat or on Google. It'll show you exactly kind of what that looks like, so that if an investment bank tells you they charge Lehman Formula, you'll know exactly what that is. In the 50 to 100 million, they're looking at around 2%, maybe 1.5%, maybe even 2.5%. And then above 100 million, generally speaking, you're going to see 1 to 1.5%. If your transaction happens to be really, really big, 500 million to $1 billion or above $1 billion, you might see things drop below a full percentage point. It might get into the 3/4 or a 0.5 point. So that's the basic thing for an investment banker running a full process. And again, business brokers work at the lower end. They tend to charge a higher amount, but their minimums tend to be lower. But that's sort of the spectrum. The other thing to think about is that most investment banks will also charge either a one-time retainer, somewhere between, call it 10 and $100,000 to pay for the work of getting in a market, and then take the bulk or most of their fee on what's called a success fee, that percentage. Some of them credit the retainer against the success fee. And then there's other investment banks, this would be Cantor Advisors, and a lot of people that work the way we do that charge, a monthly retainer or consulting fee to make sure that we're not over indexed to getting that success fee. If we think that your only options are bad ones, we are covering our costs and maybe making a little bit of profit on the monthly consulting fee, and can help you to walk away from a bad deal. We don't have to wait for a success fee to get paid. And there are a lot of investment banks that work that way. So those are the biggest component pieces: the success fee, that's the percentage, and then the retainer or consulting fees that are either upfront or monthly. They're going to range between, say, 5,000, and we've seen investment banks that charge 50,000 a month on big transactions. So it ranges. Ours are kind of at the low end of that range, more in a 7,500 to 15,000, depending on size and complexity. We know a lot of other investment banks that charge that same way. So it's a lot of information, and you can certainly use, Google searches and chat to kind of confirm that. There's even an annual survey called the Axial Firmex survey. That's a big marketplace and a data room provider that published for free a survey on year-over-year changes on investment banking fees. Highly encourage you to look at that to make sure that if you've never done a deal and nobody in your world has ever done a deal, that you get some third-party validation of what the charges look like. All right, so that's the bottom, the second piece of the funnel. Coming up, the next 5 episodes will be all around how you execute your strategy from there. Thanks, stay tuned.